The Leagoo M9 is one of the cheapest 5.5-inch smartphones with promising specs. But is it really worth buying? Let's find out right after the intro. The M9 is a budget phone which sells for around $55 to $65 depending where you buy it from. Considering that price, you get quite a lot for your money. A micro USB cable, a clear case and some manuals. Besides the black color of the phone in this review, it is also available in blue and gold. The phone is entirely made of plastic but doesn't feel cheap in your hands. It comes with a 5.5-inch display with a screen resolution of 1280 by 640 pixels and an 18:9 display ratio. The brightness of the panel is absolutely fine while using it indoors, but starts to struggle a bit in bright sunlight. Inside the phone we have a MediaTek quad-core chipset and 2GB of RAM. With those specs, the M9 could manage most standard tasks such as browsing the web, checking Twitter and Facebook, or watching videos on YouTube or Netflix. Also, the internal mono speaker does a good job in somewhat quiet environments and doesn't sound too bad at all. It is even possible to play games like Asphalt 8 quite fluent without any bigger lags or other problems. The internal sensors work fine and do their job steering your car through the game. As operation system, Android 7 is used with Leagoo's own OS 3.0 on top of it. With that UI, you don't have the classic Android app drawer and all apps are directly on your home screen. They also give you a couple of themes and wallpapers to choose from. But if you don't like the launcher, there are plenty of options in the Play Store. The system takes up around 5GB from the 16GB internal storage, which is expandable with an SD card up to 32GB. Besides the option of the external storage, the M9 also has a dual SIM tray for simultaneous use of one micro and one nano SIM. A little downside is that it only supports 3G networks, so you are limited to slower download rates as with actual 4G standards. That shouldn't be a big problem though in everyday use. Speaking about connectivity, the phone offers Bluetooth and of course Wi-Fi, where I noticed that its speed is okay, but compared to higher priced devices, it is not the fastest. Considering the price of the M9, it is still okay and reached up to 50 megabits a second in my tests. Leagoo equips the smartphone with a 2850 mAh big battery, which should bring you safely throughout the day, and gets charged by a micro USB port, which is placed next to the 3.5mm headphone jack on the top of the phone. On the rear side, there is a fingerprint scanner, which does a pretty decent job, even though the screen could light up a bit faster after you place your finger on the reader. One of the biggest selling points of the M9 is its camera setup. There are two front-facing cameras with one 5MP and one 2MP sensor and a front flash LED. On the rear side there are also two built-in cameras combined with a dual flash LED. The 8 and 2MP sensor should bring more light and clarity to the pictures. In fact, the images are pretty blurry and only look somewhat usable when the lighting is good, like on a sunny day. The bokeh effect looks like they just lay a blur effect around a circle in the middle of the image. So don't expect any masterpiece photos, but considering the low price point, you can't charge too hard here. So altogether, and always considering that this is a quite cheap budget phone, it does a really good job and is absolutely usable in everyday situations or as a spare phone. If you don't need the fastest download speed and you don't mind that the images taken with the M9's camera are not too good, it is definitely worth considering buying this phone. You can find it on several shops for prices starting at $55. I will leave some links in the description. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks for watching and see you next time.